So how quickly did you actually see your account start to have some movement?
It did 3% one day, just last week. So I was like, wow,
Pleasure to meet you. How are things going on your end?
they're going marvelous.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I started April 11 and we had that, what did they call that? Slippage.
Hmm.
Nothing was happening for about a week and a half, and I was kind of going, well, what's going on? But no, it started bringing money in and compounding, and paid a couple of fees already for the trader fees, 20% off and running, doing really well. I'm
Love it.
pleased. This is money. So we sold a house, and I put the money in with an investor. And it was a life insurance thing.
Mm.
So they keep it and they use it, and when you decide that you want to start withdrawing, it was only going to pay me 500 a month. That's just a pittance, right? I've already got 5K in there that's over and above my investment amount. So I'm just really thrilled to be able to have that coming in, not having to worry about extended retirement.
Okay, love it. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Deanna. Like, what's your professional background?
I'm a caregiver, so I worked in that field for 30 years, taking care of elderly people. Enjoyed that immensely. My husband is retired, kind of forced. He had cancer, so he just couldn't handle his job anymore. And his brother said, "Hey, why don't you come to California and sit on the property here, family property? It's 160 acres, and just take care of the place and not have to worry about work." So that's what we did. We sold everything, moved down here, and I haven't been working down here at all. So just kind of taking care of property. It's a big hillside, so it's just like the lower, oh, I don't know, 20 acres or so
Hmm.
that we kind of try and work with.
Even 20 plus acres, that's a lot of space. So do
It
you
is.
guys, is it a working kind of acreage or is what do you guys produce or is there anything that happens on that?
Well, it used to be productive, but it's been abandoned. Ron's dad passed away a couple years ago, and he was in nursing care for 15 years. So kind of
Okay.
got run down because Ron's brother was raising family and
Mm.
couldn't keep up with it. And so we have some stuff to get taken care of financially, trust wise, all of that. And then the attorney is recommending that we sell the property. So, and that's going to take about 3 years for them to get that straightened out.
So for you then, what's been the motivation that you've had for wanting to make passive income?
Well, like I said, I wasn't working down here and kind of living off of my credit cards, unfortunately. And so I wanted something that was easy for me to handle
Yeah.
because I don't deal well with technology. I don't understand the bell curves and the signals and a lot of that stuff. But I had this fund that was sitting there, not really going to be doing much for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted a way to invest it that would provide income for us, especially if and when we do end up selling this property. We didn't have a plan, unfortunately, moving beyond this location. So
Yeah.
this is going to help us when it comes right down to it to help us purchase property. Once we split this up, this
Yeah.
is really going to be helpful to get us back on our feet. Just let it sit, let it grow, let it compound. Really excited for that
All
because it
the
takes a lot of worry off your shoulders, right? When you don't have to think about how am I going to live down the road when you've got this compounding for you. So,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you sounded like, you said bell curves and signals. Like, what have you tried before in terms of trying to make passive income?
well, I did sign up with a few options trading system, and I got part of it, but there's a lot of risk in that, and I was fearful. So I didn't really get into it. There was a lot of material to go through.
Yeah.
They take you in and assure you that it's great, you can do it. And I had some reservations, and oh, sure, you can do it. That investment is bye bye because they wouldn't refund me after my concerns and stuff.
What kind of concerns did you have? Just like about the time or the complexity, or was it a reason of it was too complex or too much time or not, you weren't getting the kind of information or results that you were looking for, or what was it?
Yeah, it was too complex. I mean, I could put the time into it, but following their strategy and sitting on a Zoom every morning, trade mornings, following their strategy, yeah, it was over my head, really.
And how much did you end up making with that opportunity?
Oh, I didn't, because I didn't want to make those mistakes, So
Yeah.
like I said, I was fearful.
At the end of the day, it's your capital, and doing something as complex and as really driven by expertise, like managing funds and all that. That's like a full-time job, you know, and that's why they had you kind of meet on every weekday and try to do those things with you. But at the end of the day, it's very complicated, and that's what can be pretty frustrating for sure.
Yeah, and I could see people in the chat that were doing well because they were able to hit the buttons quickly enough, and
mm,
people weren't doing well because they weren't able to
yeah,
hit the buttons quick enough. And I was like, I'm not that fast. I'm not that familiar with the technology.
yeah.
So yeah, I just willing to go in there and start doing those investments and having those downfalls because I've got a life that I want to build, but I don't want to lose it in
Yeah.
the you know in the process. So
Not only so you don't want to necessarily take on that responsibility of learning something completely new and having your hard-earned capital be at risk, and you're the main one who's pulling the trigger on those things that are fairly complex. And then also you have time that you want to spend with your husband and your family, and you don't want to be staring at your computer screen and worried about making a mistake. So how did you hear about us? Was there like an ad or a video that like really got you interested?
believe it was on Instagram. And typically I'll go in and there's this big long line of stuff to fill out, and yours was a lot easier and more simple, and I thought, well, let's just try it.
Yeah.
So I filled out the form and got contacted and went from there. And it sounded more simple, and especially when I started looking at the testimonials, I was like, yeah, that sounds completely hands off. There's no secret about it. Everybody was saying it was completely hands off.
And how did you feel just before joining ATN? Were you like skeptical? Were you a bit nervous maybe?
I don't think I was so much skeptical as just nervous,
And,
because
and
of the fee. That's a thing,
you said
and
because of what is it?
because of the fee.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But hearing that it's going to compound, that it's going to be completely hands off, and the percentages, being able to grow your fee back to you, you're off and running. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm just letting it ride so I
Yeah.
can get that back. And
Now that makes sense. What ultimately made you join ATN? You saw ads, you saw testimonials, you spoke to a representative, you were like, okay, I think that this is something that could work for me. But of course, there was that fee and had a little bit of like kind of nervousness and questions there. And so what ultimately like, kind of got you over that hump of the nervousness?
just the fact that the testimonials were there, and a lot of people were saying, hey, this is the thing. It's like winning the lottery, and completely hands off, which I needed and made sense.
And on your end, like, how was the setup process? Who, by the way, was your success manager? Who helped you get set up?
I believe it was Julio. And yeah, it was very, this is the thing, I'd gotten into another thing as well, and they just sent me the information and, okay, you do it. But I had Julio get on the Zoom with me, had me share my screen, told me where to click. Everything was just so simple. Like I was set up in a day. It was nice. So nice. I
Mhm.
mean, for me being technically challenged, especially in this realm,
Yeah.
financials, uh, I was really happy with that.
How about ongoing communication? Because, like you said, the other company that you signed up with, they were like, here's a bunch of stuff. Let us know if you need anything or whatever they said. I know that the initial setup with Julio only took a day, but how about ongoing communication, maybe through Slack or maybe Telegram or any of the video updates? How has the communication been with Julio?
Yeah, I had a call with him last week and we set up this call. I've had people send me information on the Slack so that I could view what's going on. So very good.
What do you feel like? I mean, just in your words, like what do you feel like makes ATN different? Now you signed up, you did the course with the options, and you guys had to meet pretty much every day. You just signed up with something else, or they just sent you a bunch of information for you to figure things out yourself. So what on your end really, in your opinion, makes ATN different?
Just the hands off. Just it's doing it for you. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything daily. The email comes in for my statement for the day. That's
Nice.
kind of nice. Just makes it so hands off.
Love it. And then, for you, like after the setup process with Julio, and it only took a day or so, how quickly did you actually see your account start to have some movement?
It was about a week, a little over a week, because it did 3% one day just last week. So I was like, wow.
And on your end, I mean, how did that actually feel like looking at your account and seeing your account grow 3% in one day?
Yeah, that was amazing. It almost doubled my returns that one day.
Yeah. And in the last 30 days, like how much has your account actually generated for yourself?
It's at 5,200.
$55,200. And for you, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what are your current living expenses?
They're pretty low because we're sitting here on the property as caretakers. So it's just sewer, water, garbage, that kind of thing. But this is what I'm hoarding, I guess, off to the side so that
Yeah.
when we do have to stop caretaking here, we have funds to buy a house. That's really important because we didn't have that planned ahead. So having this set aside just takes a load off, knowing that we're going to have the ability.
Yeah, and for you in the last 30 days at $5,200, like, and you have fairly low monthly expenses, would you say the last 30 days of the money that your account has actually generated has maybe paid for the next like 3 months of living expenses?
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I mean, that's a lot of people's goals when they do, want to have passive income. The main reason is for them to be able to offset their monthly expenses with their, passive income. And so it sounds as though that you're, well on that track, but you have bigger goals and things in mind in terms of being able to actually save up for, a new property and things like that. So this is just, another step in the right direction.
It'll take a load off of Ron too, because then he doesn't have to worry about those issues either. So,
Yeah, how does he feel about, the $5,200 and, the kind of performance and things of that nature from to this point?
well, that's a little secret. He doesn't know what I'm doing.
He'll be well pleased when he finds out, kind of what's been happening and how things have just been magically getting paid for or funded or what have you. So
Yeah.
that'll that'll be positive. And so on your end, Deanna, like based off of the things that you've tried, based off of like kind of other things that are out there, where would you actually rank ATN compared to other things that you've been experiencing?
100% the best. Just because I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be babysit it. I don't have to be involved in the day-to-day ups and downs of the market. It's doing it without me having to manage it. It's amazing.
That was going to be my other question, Deanna. And like once you got onboarded, how passive has it been after that onboarding phase?
Completely passive. I don't have to touch it. I don't even have to look at it.
Honest
Right.
question, in your opinion, because I'm a public figure, if you will. There's people that, see my advertisements, or there's people that, see my social media presence or whatever. And, they have a lot of things to say about it's too good to be true and this and that, or all of those things. And so for you, honest question on your end, Deanna, do you believe that I or ATN is like a scam?
Absolutely not. No. It just, when you see everybody talking about it, those testimonials make a huge difference in the believability and the trustworthiness.
Yeah.
And that's huge to me because I'd had a couple of experiences that didn't work out for me. So
Yeah.
to be able to come in here and have this amount of relief, not having to worry.
That's a big thing, Deanna, because one of the biggest emphasis that we do have is client results and client experience, right? And that's why we have, like you mentioned, Julio's been great. He's been, able to hop on Zoom with you and share his screen, or have you share your screen and walk you through things. We didn't want to just set things up where it's like your other experience where they just sent you an email or sent you an onboarding form, just fill this out and you will be around if you need us or things like that. It's just like, no, like we want to set up a call with you and we want to like actually be as face to face as possible and just kind of have these touch points to make sure that you're taken care of and you don't have anything that you need. So it's a big deal for us. And I'm glad that you're experiencing that on your end. Considering that everything continues the way that it is and even has even potentially higher performance months, how likely are you actually to recommend us?
absolutely do. I already do. So,
What we've done is we've put something in place to make it even easier, because I know it was a bit of a barrier for you mentally and maybe financially a little bit to go ahead and pay the license fee to join and get access. We're going to be doing something really special for referrals, and people are coming in from our clients' recommendations. And so I'll let like Julio kind of follow up with you on how exactly that looks, but we feel like it's going to be really helpful. Again, it's just a matter of how many more people are we able to reach in the right capacity. And we feel like we figured out a really nice way to be able to bridge that gap for a lot of people. And so on your end, just kind of touching back on like the testimonials and how impactful that was for you. Somebody right now maybe listening to this conversation and just kind of like, this is amazing, but I don't necessarily have a lot of like experience when it comes to doing something like this. I've never gotten passive income before. I don't know about trading. I don't know about algorithms and things like that. Like, why perhaps somebody not knowing all of those things, why should they maybe take action and actually join the community?
if you don't have any experience doing all of that stuff, but you still have some funds that you can put into investing, then why not give this a try? Because this is something that will do it all for you. So you don't have to be on hands-on with it. It's just that simple.
Not having to be hands-on with it, of course, and then not having to have experience, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not an expert trader. Let me not even talk about you. I'm not an expert trader, and I'm making multiple five figures per month using this using the algorithm, using the network here. And so it's, again, it sounds like same type of things are happening on your end at the scale that you started with. So it's kind of what we expect and want to see, continuing for yourself, and then, any future clients and any current clients as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
I'm happy that you're happy. This is our intention. This is what we want, Deanna. And so for us, we're really excited that you're a part of what we're doing. Thanks for taking the time. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, no, actually, I don't.
Okay.
It's just been going so well. So,
Yeah, excellent. Well, we are praying that continue to, put a smile on your face and make sure that you're in position to do all of the things that you have goal-wise here in the near future. We're here for you every step of the way. All right, Deanna, well, you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great week, and we'll talk here very shortly.
all right. Take care.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So every 30 days, I talk one-on-one with my clients, and that was their experience. If you want to learn more on how we help our clients earn 60% or more per year, then click the link in the description below.